Can you see the presentation?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay. Bueno, muchas gracias. Mi nombre es Guido Rietta.
Thank you very much. My name is Rietta. Good evening to the team in Japan, and the Ministry of the Environment in Japan, the Global Center Foundation, along with their JCM program, Nippon Koei, and especially Jan Gateway, who are our Japanese partners, the ones that are forming this consortium to get this subsidy. The presentation that I'll make is about the project that is the central biomass project La Gloria. We'll go to the company that will move through the company that is producing the project. A short description of the project. The project as a JCM model project. The positive estimative recognition that the developing company has had for being part of this La Gloria initiative, and we will answer questions and answers. So here, the mother company of the La Gloria project is Consulting and Energy. It's a company working basically on residue from the energy point of view, and also residue from the research and development. So we've always been supported by Corfo and other institutions. In this, we have the La Gloria project presently is being developed. We are in preliminaries, and we hope that this year we finish the construction. We have another project that we've been developing for a while for the north and south of Chile. And we have other research and development projects that we have developed for the past 6 years. This is in general. Now, what is the La Gloria project about? It's a mini central, biomass central that uses agricultural residue intensively developed in the area, in the 7th region. Basically, this residue. The idea is to treat them in a sustainable way to produce electric energy or bioenergy. What this project does is to treat the residue from the agricultural industry of the area to have sustainable industry with environmental awareness, because right now there's no final disposal for this residue. In the framework of the technologies that we make, we focus on, we are a bioenergy plant. This plant has a capacity of 3.4 megs. It's a central of non-conventional renewable energy, as I-2257 determines, and it has two first-line devices with a system for gas and emissions that are very robust and low emission. This project can be compared to the level of emissions of 41 wood stoves, and it would give energy to around 11,000 households because of its factor. Important points is that this project gives even its technology level doesn't consume water, because it is a central that has instead of using vapor, the residues it uses is the area residue, and this project receives around 8 trucks a day of residue this is what it receives a day. For you to have an idea of this project, of what this project is about, this is a low yield project, but of high technology potential. So we are on the right hand side of the screen. You can see a layout where you can see the warehouse, the storage warehouse, the turbine, and the air coolers, the companies. This project is super relevant because the rice peel, if in Chile there's no high production of rice, in other countries, the rice residue is very complex. So that's why we researched, and we have two companies that gave us a lot of certainty to us and our companies, such as Unicomfort and Unicomfort, that has who provided the furnace. They have a lot of experience in rice peels, and Turboer, that has a lot of experience in turbine systems with ORC. And this will be, in fact, the first plant in South America to use this system. And why the first plant? Because the truth is, the technology, and always when technology is new, there's a cost that must be paid, which is a high cost. But thanks to the fact that this project was from 2019, benefited by the subsidy of this program, we were able to opt for better technologies such as this one, and will be state of the art here. The management of the project is to the south of Topal, close to south of Parral, in the same route 5. This is an area, is agricultural area, and all the residue produced in this area are in a radius of 20-30 kilometers. We will use, it's a local project, a small project that deals with all these residue produced there. Because of this, on the same terrain, there's a distribution line that we will, the land that we will use is 5 hectares, but the project itself uses no more than 0.5 hectares. Why did we set up there? Because of what I mentioned. Because the area, the region of Maule, annually there's crops of around 50,000 hectares. And of those crops, the amount of residue produced is around 140,000 tons a year. And this is around 50,000, 60,000 is rice peel. And the final disposal sites to destine all these residue is very far, 80 kilometers to the south, 120 kilometers to the north. So there's a proliferation of non-authorized burns that are produced. So La Gloria, what it does is to do sustainable treatment around 37,000 tons of residue to generate renewable energy and therefore supply to a sustainable agricultural industry. There we can see some non-authorized dumps that are generated in the region and produce the typical problems of infection or others. So this is the opportunity that we saw, and it is the business that we established to be able to do to solve this problem. This project is really not very easy because it's a high technology level. Something else is that residue is always complex. And the third point in this complexity is collectiveness. In the sector, there were a lot of projects, solar projects, so we had to wait for a long time for the battery of solar projects to complete or go down, and that way we could opt for connections that we have it insured. This is a project that started in 2014 with environmental impact. Between 2014 and 2015, we had a citizen participation where we explained the community and the authorities the project, and it was qualified favorably in 2016 with a resolution of environmental qualification. So right there, when we couldn't connect, we seeked better technologies, and there we didn't waste time, but we got to the Unicomfort company and Turbonen. These companies that are part of the Mitsubishi group. That's important to mention. And there we got to the credits, carbon credits for the JCM program. So there we presented this optimization of the project with the environmental service program, and we got the awards and the permit of the preliminary permit. So right now we're waiting for the final work permit, and we are waiting for it to obtain it. In the environmental evaluation, as I mentioned, this is not projects that are easy to execute because of the environmental regulations in Chile, but we made a baseline in 2016 where we saw the amount of emissions in the sector and the project, and thanks to the system of emission control in the project, which is the companies, Unicomfort and Turbodent, really the emission levels are very low. The highest gas in the sector is 5.8%, 100% the norm, and the closest city, which would be Parral, it only goes to 0.4% of the 100% of the norm. Here, it's very important when we postulate to this program to make a consortium, Asian Gateway, which was the company that brought us in, and our partners in Japan, the ones that we are very appreciative for all the work that we've conducted throughout these years. Without them, we wouldn't have been able to have a group to be able to postulate these programs. So that's a very important point that I believe is essential for all these projects. We credited 2019 bonds for 128,000 tons of CO2 in the years of that we considered this, that was 15, and in that way we were subsidized by an important amount, around 1/3 of the total investment that we have right now, an investment that we have around $14 million because of the extra costs that we have incurred during the pandemic, transport, etc. So in the positive things that we've seen in this project, and the positive things in this type of initiatives that are highly technological, well, the first thing is that in the end, agricultural burning or illegal burning that is developed throughout the times of crop or PL generation disappears, because we always, as final disposal, will treat those that waste sustainably. And the sanitary, if this goes to, this produces inventory gases, greenhouse gases, but we will have a reduction in polluting emissions and fire risk, fire hazard, which is it generates a lot during the summer in Chile. And another important point is the energy renewable energy supply, which is high. We have a lot of renewable energy in Chile, but the plant factors are low. So we need to have varied energy to have energy continuity. And finally, this project fulfills the United Nations requirements in these points. These are the positive things that we've seen in the project. We have a network, a collaborative network, that throughout the years has incorporated, such as the Ministry of Energy, that I appreciate their participation in this webinar, the Ministry of Environment, the Minister of Foreign Relations, the Corfo for the investment guarantee, the SACE group from Italy. Also, it's important that since like Corvo, but in Italy, they've provided their support. So for the JCM program, the University of Conception, the CONAF, the Global Environmental Center, the Santander Bank that provide support with financing, and Duclabel, which is the largest company generating rice in Chile. Here are some examples of plants with similar equipment in Canada and United States. Similar plants that are close to urban areas due to them providing district heating. Here there's an example of Italy. This is just to complement. In the end, this project, not only did we develop it, as you saw, since 2013, since that year on, we've invested a lot in research and investigation, because if in Chile, we produce a lot of rice peel, so this residue could be well used so that it could be used to generate renewable electric energy. But when it's through combustion, it generates ash. And that ash we discovered through our development and research division, that it could be used for solar, which is the turquoise plates of photovoltaic panels. We also developed nanoparticles for three-dimensional structures to include lithium batteries. And also, we have a prototype for an aerogel that by using these nanosilica structures, it can save water between 30 and 40%. So all of this generates an amount of savings in tons of CO2 that is tremendous. And that was recognized in COP26 in November last year. COP26 selected us in a wing of the COP26 in the 20 companies worldwide that can provide to year 2030 to lower the temperature of the earth in 1.5 degrees because of the initiatives that we mentioned through various disruptions, because these captures mitigate CO2 through the use of nanotechnology, and they could reduce, if replicated in various projects, around 10 megatons of CO2 equivalent a year. So that's very relevant because we've worked for several years, and the amount of investment that we've invested in research and development has been relevant. So that's the presentation. For us, without innovation, there's no sustainability, and without sustainability, there's no future. This is the presentation that we wanted to share, and thank you again for the invitation.